Guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rowena and I am your boss babe queen. Now today I'm showing you how I did this makeup look. This is UK Bright under eye makeup with some blush, and this is the final look. Absolutely love it. Hope you guys like it too. Hey girlies, so let's get into it. I'm starting off with my face freshly washed and I have moisturized. So now I'm putting on a primer, and this is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. So e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, and I just put it all over my face. Now I'm starting off with my brows. I know that there's some people who do foundation and then they do brows. I'm not gonna lie to you, I used to do that back in the day, but I've started just doing my brows first, and yeah, I feel like it just makes more sense. So for me, I'm one of them girlies who do brows first and then the rest of my face. So I would do brows, and then I do also outline my brows, then I do eyeshadow if I want to do that, and then I continue with the rest of my face, as you guys will see in this video. So I'm just using a pencil. To be honest, you can use any pencil that you like, because anyone that matches your hair color, you know, or the color that you're going after, you know. So yeah, get a pencil. And I personally like when my brows are freshly done. So like, I do my brows myself and I shave them, and I like when they're freshly done, because it just makes it a lot neater. Plus I shave them in the pattern that I like my brows to be anyway. So when I'm outlining, I'm literally just following the pattern that I've already shaved and filling in any sparseness that's there, if you get what I mean. I always go back in with a spoolie because I try to get the hairs looking all neat, because once you fill it in, you know, you would have ruffled some of your eyebrow hairs. So you want to get the spoolie in them again, just to give them a one over, so that they look and they go back to their normal set that they were in, you know, the normal way that they grow. So I am using this e.l.f. concealer, and I am concealing my eyebrows. And this e.l.f. concealer dries really fast. So yeah, but again, I usually also go in with what's it called, the LA Pro concealer, and it's just one of them ones where you have to just use what you have. Like the product, I promise you, the product in most instances doesn't really matter. It is the application and your skill, the ability to blend and the ability to use your products well. I've seen people do this with paint. Do you get what I mean? So don't worry too much. You will always realize that whenever I do these tutorials, I don't really focus on the products that I'm using, because it's not the products. You can have the best products and get the ugliest results. It's not the products, guys. It is the skill and understanding what you're doing. So here, when your brows are freshly shaved, waxed, or whatever it is that you do, and they're nicely cleaned up, it makes it a lot easier, because there is no hairs that you're trying to hide. Mind you, yes, you can still do this when you haven't shaved your brows. You can still do it, but don't be fooled to think that the hairs won't be visible. Like, even if they're covered, all it will do is just be a covered rough, and you will still notice that there is hair there, right? Whereas if it's cleaned, then it has a more smoother look. So overall, like your face, your whole makeup, your application, everything just goes smoother. So I always recommend try shaping and cleaning up your brow area before. Now I'm going in with the same concealer that I used, and I'm just going down just below my eyes as well as on my eyelid, and I'm concealing that entire area. And I'm doing this because one, you know, prepping my eyelids to put on the eyeshadow that I have, but also below my eyes, like the foundation, when I put that on, it will just be a lot nicer because there is now just one color there. I'm also going to set my eyelids. As I mentioned, I am going to do this before I do my foundation, just because when you're doing eyeshadow sometimes you get fallouts, and for me, I can easily brush away the fallouts and then put my foundation on and it covers up everything. For those people who do their face first, if you make any mistake with the eyeshadow, yes, you can correct it and there are ways to do it, but I just think that it just makes it easier for me if I don't have to correct nothing. I can just brush it away, you know what I mean? So I'm going in with this green on the lid of my eyebrows, and I'm literally using 2 shades. I'm going in with the green on the lid of my eyes, and then I'm literally gonna fade that out with a yellow. So that's gonna be like the kind of transition into the just below the brow bone area. I'm gonna kind of fade it out. So it's the green on the lids and then the yellow, like a orange yellow and yellow just above that, and then fade it out. And that is a 2-step 2-toned brow that I'm going with, and not brow, 2-toned eyeshadow look that I'm going with, because I didn't want to do too much. I just wanted it to look nice. You can see there's a pop of something there, you know. Next, I'm using the foundation, right? This is the Maybelline Matte Poreless Foundation, and I'm using that because that's my foundation shade, and I'm using that to clean up the top of my brows. If you notice, I'm not going in with the same concealer that I use to clean the bottom up, because I like a bright underbrow, but obviously for the top part you want it to look natural as well, right? So I go in with that foundation, and it almost looks as if I did nothing to the top. It was just like that, and that's what that foundation does. When you go in with your own foundation shade, it does not look unnatural, you know. So yeah, that definitely helps. And I also use a little bit of that, whatever is left on the brush, to kind of fade out the front of my brows. I don't do like thick, sharp, and you know, this dramatic front of the brows. I fade it out so it looks more natural. Alright, so you can just use the same brush to do that because it already has some products on it. So if your front of your brows are too dark, the same brush that you use to line up or to outline the top of your brows, you can use that just to make sure that the color is right for the beginning brows. Then of course I'm going in with the same foundation that I use to clean the top of my brows, right? And you see that foundation shade, right? So going back, and you can see that when I come to my under eye, I literally, there's nothing to do under that, right? Because as I mentioned, the concealer was already there, so it doesn't take a lot, right? So I will do the rest of my face, and I pat it in. I don't swipe, I pat it in. I am patting it in, right? And that's the motion that you want to use. I use that brush, and you clean up any areas that you see any kind of different shades or anything. My eyeshadow was coming just a bit out over there, and I didn't want it to, so I just use that foundation shade just to bring it back, rein it in, you know what I mean? So again, I use a smaller brush because here, like I didn't want the foundation brush to mess up the wig that I had on. And by the way, can we talk about this wig? Like lace wear. No, let's be real. Look at my wig for a moment. I know this is a makeup kind of video, but look at my wig for a moment. You guys need to go check my wig installation out. That video is now up before you're seeing this one. Go check that video out and learn a tip or two, baby, because honestly, my wig installation is really I mean, look at, no, seriously, what lace? That looked like scalp, honey. Yeah. I did a big one with this. Yes. So, and also when you're doing makeup, so we're going back to the makeup now, right? just understand that there will be a lot of touch-ups, right? So don't worry about that. Feel free to touch it up and stuff. So once the foundation is done, I am going to highlight, because I'm doing a UK bright under eye. When I'm doing a bright under eye, I'm going to go in with a shade that is probably 4 times lighter than me. The key to this all is blending. So I'm going in with this LA Pro Conceal, and it's the yellow corrector, and I'm going in with this, and I'm putting some under my eyes and on the areas that I want to highlight. I don't highlight my forehead anymore, because I just use the remaining product that's on the brush and just put it there, right? So now I go in with a smaller brush, and I sprayed some setting spray on it, and I've learned this tip. Setting spray helps to make it last a bit longer. It's almost setting this into my skin, right? So I sprayed on the brush and I blend. Now blending takes time. You've got to be patient. And what I find is that holding the brush towards the end, right? Not towards near where the bristles are, but towards the end, it allows the brush to melt it more seamlessly. I don't know what the science is behind that, but when you hold it that so far towards that end, it just kind of gives it a bit more freedom, and the brush just does what it does, man. I'm telling you. You will see that I'm patting this in. I'm not swiping because I don't want to move the product. I am simply patting it in, and then I go to my chin area and I also pat that, right? I'm patting it up towards where the line on my nose is, because that also gives the illusion of a straighter nose, if you want to have that illusion, right? So I've learned that as well. So in, when you're trying to get a straighter looking nose, you can bring that the highlight in a bit more. Now this right here that I'm doing is major key. I've gone back in with the foundation brush. I am not dipping my brush into any products. All I'm doing is using that same foundation brush that has the remaining that had some remaining foundation on it. I'm not dipping it back in. I'm literally using it to blend, and look how seamlessly, honey, do you see how seamlessly that is? There's no stark contrast between where I just highlighted and my normal face. So yeah, that's what we want to achieve. So now you can see here that I'm going back in and I am contouring. Now I'm going in with this, it's more of a warmer shade, to be honest, rather than a gray one, just because I didn't want my contour to be too harsh. I wanted it to be natural and just looking good, but you can see that there is some color being brought back into my face, and that was the aim for this, and I'm very happy with how that turned out. That's a cream contour. Now I'm going in with a cream blush, and I'm using a deep red kind of blush here, and I'm bringing up towards the temple of my head, towards my temples. So I'm bringing that up, taking that there, and you can see it's more towards the side, and it gives it a more lifted look. Now you have different placements of blushes that will give you a different form of look. If you're going for a dull look, then you'll do it on the cheek, right? But I wanted a lifted look, so I went with the blush towards my temples. Now I was bringing the blush in a bit, and I saw that I wanted the highlight under my eyes to be a bit brighter, so I went back in with the same yellow color corrector from LA Pro Conceal, right? And I just did it one little dab and just made sure that I blended again. Now once you've finished blending, you're going to need to set. I don't do a lot of baking, I do a lot of setting, because baking, for me, I don't really find it necessary because of how bright my under eye is already. I don't want to soak the product in too much into my skin. Whereas setting, I am literally just setting that product in, and it is saying exactly how I want it to stay, right? So I don't do a lot of baking. I won't leave the product on my face for long, or the powder. I will set though. So I am using my triangle sponge and I am picking up the translucent powder and I am pressing it into my areas where I want to set right now, and that's all under my under eyes, right? And you can see how lovely that's looking, right? See how lovely. And I'm also bringing it up onto my nose as well area, just because I'm gonna finesse it and, you know, get that straighter looking nose, right? And I bring it just into the crease of my eyes as well, just up to meet my eyeshadow as well. And of course I do my forehead. With my forehead I don't put much products on it. If you realize I didn't put much foundation on it, I use the remaining foundation, and so too with this powder. So here I am now using the powder that matches my face, right? So a pressed powder, and I am doing like a reverse contour under my cheeks, and then I use that same powder and going over the area that I've just set, because this is a face powder, right? It's a pressed powder and it matches my face. So it's, yeah, I'm setting, you know, all the areas that I didn't do with that translucent powder with that setting powder now, and then also going over any areas just to make sure that the tone and everything, it's all seamless, it's all one shade and stuff, right? And it's looking seamlessly. And of course going back in with my triangle sponge and patting in all the areas so that I don't have any crease, nothing like that, right? Now I need to set also the contouring area. So anywhere that we had cream just now, we need to set it, right? And I had cream contour, so now I'm going to set it with the powder contour, and same thing with the blush. I had the cream blush that I put on, right? So now I'm setting it with a powder. So anything that you put a cream on, you want to set it with a powder so it stays in place, right? And that's what setting does. Setting is literally, as the name suggests, it keeps the thing in place. So now moving on to the eyes. With this eye look, I going for a mini cat eye look. And it's just that little triangle, the extra triangle that we put at the front of our tear duct there, that is gives it that cat look. And it also helps them to elevate your makeup, elevate your eyes, and give it a wider looking eye. So that's, like, you know, something that if you're interested in, people do this with wing as well. I wasn't interested in the wing. I just wanted that inner tear duct, like length and broaden kind of thing. Yeah. And of course I'm going with my favorite lip combo. You guys know the vibes if you've been rocking with me. It is this deep plum purple lip liner and this nude matte lipstick. You guys know I've been the matte queen. I mean, we had a moment where I was fully gloss girl, but now I've gone back to being fully matte queen, you know. Yep. And also doing my own lashes. I was gonna put on lashes this day, but I was rushing and I opted to just put mascara on my own, and it turned out pretty well, right? And then once you've done all the setting and all the powdery stuff, what you want to do is just make sure that all that powdery cakey look goes away. So you spray it down with your setting spray, your setting mist. Ideally you want it to be a mist so that it's a fine water that is getting poured onto your face. Of course you're gonna dry it down, and that, voila. So guys, this is the final look. All I did was added this white bow to my hair, and then added accessories. Yep. And the dress that I'm in is this leopard print. This bit is very high up here, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in another one.